Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is part of a YouTube challenge called the Back to School Challenge. And this challenge is hosted by my friend Eliana over at Why Not Redesign. I will be working on this desk. It's just a vintage Ethan Allen desk. And of course, I have to start with all of my prep work. I am going to start out by filling all of my holes with some plastic wood because I will be changing out the hardware. Once my plastic wood filler is dry, I sand everything down. I give the whole piece a scuff sand as well. And then I took a spray lacquer to seal in all of my tail ends, and that's very important, especially when you're exposing any bare wood.
This is like a Formica type material. It's just like really hard plastic. I'm going to have to sand it with a very low grit sandpaper. I want to make sure it's really scuffed up really well so I have really good adhesion for my paint.
I'm using one of my favorite brands of paint, Wise Owl Chalk Synthesis, and this color is called Blush. It has great coverage. I only needed 2 coats to completely cover all of the entire piece, and I didn't use a primer. I'm wanting the top section of my desk to be a different color. I'm using some Big Top sealer, and after I put on my tape, I'm putting it over top of the tape, so when I pull off my tape, I've got a really super nice crisp clean line. I'm using this color called Laurentine from Fusion Mineral Paints, and it's a little bit thinner than the Wise Owl paint, which is totally fine because I'm actually going to do more of like a blended effect, watercolor type effect. So I'm just lightly brushing this on, and I'm going to come in with a spray bottle, and I'm going to just spread that paint out really thin so I have different depths of color. It'll be darker and lighter in some places. And it just is like a really pretty, beautiful blended effect. And it looks almost like watercolor painting, is what it kind of reminds me of. One thing that's important to remember when you are blending kind of in like straight lines is to keep your arm straight, or else you will have like curved brush strokes. So I do take my paintbrush and I go from left to right, and I go all the way across the top. And I do that over the whole entire piece to make sure all my brush strokes go from left to right and they're straight and they're not curved at all. Hopefully that makes sense. Unfortunately, all of the drawers were super stained and I could not get the stains out, so I decided to use some fabric to line the drawers. I wanted to add a little something extra to the plain pink fabric, so I added some stencils and in 2 different colors. I used the Laurentine and then a custom color, which I will show you a little bit later on. Some stripes on the sides and on the back of the desk. I'm using my tape to measure my width of my stripes. So I'm taking smaller pieces of the tape. I'm putting 2 pieces of the tape next to each other, and that will be the width of my stripes. So I'm taking a longer piece and I'm going from the top to the bottom, and this is going to give me the perfect measurements for my stripes with not having to do a whole bunch of extra measuring. I'm using a custom mixed paint that I used on a previous project. I can't really give you the exact ratio of paints or the colors I used, as some of them were mistints, but it is slightly darker than the Laurentine color. When I pulled off my tape, I did have some bleed through on my edges, which I'm assuming it is either A, I didn't press my tape all the way down, or because I didn't wait for my sealer to dry all the way. With that being said, all I did was take a rag and I used the edge of my rag and some water and just kind of erased the little areas of paint that bled through under my tape. I used my darker custom color paint that I used on my stripes to add the same stencil onto my fabric for my drawer liners. I'm using a Wise Owl glaze in the color called Patina and just a small artist brush, and I'm going over the pink areas just to add some shadow areas and some low lights. It's very subtle. And then I went in and added some of the same glaze around the drawers. I also added some on the very top blue color. I drilled new holes. I added my new hardware. I used 2 coats of clear satin polycrylic to seal the whole entire piece, and I added my new fabric drawer liners with a spray adhesive. And that was it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you love this piece as much as I do. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. Huge thank you to Eliana over at Why Not Redesign for hosting this challenge. Make sure you check out her channel. I will have that link below, as well as the playlist of all the amazing YouTube artists that will be joining this challenge. I hope everyone has an amazing day. Thanks again, you guys. Bye.